Industrialization capitalize. yá ta ló máa upload.
for them.
Which one again? This side.
Consider que isso não é o
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are glad to welcome you to the 17th Convocation Lecture of the Ladoke University of Technology here in Onisho. At this point, let's have the first stanza of the national anthem. Once again, we appreciate everyone for being here. And this you have said, you are all very important. Like I said initially, this is the 17th Convocation Lecture of this great university. And during these celebrations, we are also celebrating the 35th anniversary of the university. So please, let's have silence so that we can enjoy ourselves. I would like to identify some dignitaries who are here seated. And it is appropriate that I start with the Vice Chancellor of this university, the respected Professor of Art and Artistry, Professor Razak, and not to the wrong career. Welcome, sir. We are pleased to have the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Strategy and Development, Professor AfDB. Please permit me to recognize the presence of the TBC Academic and Innovations, Professor Oyelaran-Oyeyinka. We have the Registrar of the University, Mrs. Oyelaran-Oyeyinka. I am pleased to inform us that the University Bossa is here, Mr. Kevin Michelle Olapopo, FCA. And we have the University Librarian, Dr. Sarah Adefuke. Before I go to recognize the Convocation Lecture, please permit me to inform us that we have in our midst the Chairman University Ceremonials Committee, Professor AfDB. Our Convocation Lecturer is a respected academic and a well-chosen speaker. We have Professor Banji from the African Development Bank. You are welcome, sir. We will be teaching the topic, Can Nigeria thrive in terms of tumultuous and rapid technological changes? Please let's maintain silence so that we can have a good start and end the lecture in the most desirable manner. Sitting in this hall, we have deans of our various faculties. I want to seek the indulgence of this Registrar of the University to inform us that we have newly elected members of the Governing Council here. And I want to start by recognizing Professor AfDB. Let's also welcome Professor Latif Mudashi. We have Professor Oyelaran-Oyeyinka. It is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Muftau Adeju. Professor Oyeyinka, please just stand in for recognition. And last but not least, we have Professor Stephen Olatunde Lannis. Deans of faculties who are here present. Let me recognize the presence of the Provost College of Health Sciences, Professor Samson Adwani. We have Provost College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, Professor Ibabu. Professor Professor Moade. I want to respectfully recognize the presence of the Dean Faculty of Environmental Sciences, former member of the Governing Council, Professor Tumultuous. We have Professor Oyelaran-Oyeyinka, Faculty of Natural Resources. We have Acting Dean, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, Dr. Dilian Fulabi. We have Dean, Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor Abiola Ibe. I am pleased to introduce Professor Oyelaran-Oyeyinka of Clinical Sciences. We also have the Dean, Faculty of Pure and Applied Sciences, Professor. We have Dean, Faculty of Pure and Applied Sciences, Professor Tumultuous. We have the Director of Academic Planning, Professor Oyelaran-Oyeyinka. I am pleased to introduce the Dean, Faculty of Computing and Informatics, Professor AfDB. We have the Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. AfDB. I am pleased to inform us that we have the Dean Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Dean of Nursing Sciences, Professor Florence Agbe. We have the Dean Faculty of Agricultural Sciences, Professor AfDB. At this point, I want to recognize all professors here seated, members of the academic community, respected top officers of the registry department, finance managers, members of the board student. At this point, please permit me to invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Razak Natunelo, to welcome everybody to this occasion.
Highly delighted to welcome you to this 17th convocation of our dear University Lecture, one of the very best universities in the country. The lecture, which is to be delivered by a highly cerebral scholar and policy maker of international records, Professor Banji, Oyelaran-Oyeyinka, Senior Special Advisor to the President on Industrialization, African Development Bank, and Professorial Fellow, United Nations University, in Netherlands, is titled, Can Nigeria Thrive in Times of Tumultuous and Rapid Technological Changes? With this interrogatory strategy, the lecture thematically focused on the identification of the factors that have caused some setbacks and provision of suggestions on what Nigeria should do to thrive in the face of the world moving forward at breakneck speed. This intellectual meeting, to be served by a policy maker and expert, is therefore an appreciable effort towards ensuring a better Nigeria for all and some. It is also simultaneously served to challenge our graduates to contribute their quotas towards achieving the goal of ensuring a better Nigeria. As we look forward to a highly intellectual rewarding lecture, I hereby declare the lecture of today open.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Professor Oyeyinka to come and read the citation of the lecture.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. While I stand on existing protocol, I would like to invite the Convocation Lecturer to please stand and remain standing. Dear distinguished audience, I have packaged an electronic citation for ease of being followed. The Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished audience, standing here is no other person than Professor Banji Oyelaran-Oyeyinka. Banji Oyelaran-Oyeyinka, the first Nigerian professor in the field of development and industrial policy, was educated at the prestigious Professorial University in Ife. It used to be called the University of Ife, where he graduated as the best graduate student with a Bachelor of Science First Class Honors in Chemical Engineering in 1978. In the Nigerian slangy expression, I love. The exceptionally brilliant and academically gifted Banji later got the Master of Science in Chemical Engineering from the University of Toronto, Canada, and a Doctor of Philosophy in Development Economics with specialization in science, industrialization, technology, management, and innovation policy from the University of Sussex, Brighton, United Kingdom. Professor Oyelaran-Oyeyinka, a stylish personality and distinguished engineer, as evident from his presentational style here. Being a seasoned administrator, scholar, researcher, and development economist for 35 doctoral years, is renowned for significant contributions to the fields of economics, innovation, and technology management in developing countries, being areas where he is phenomenally knowledgeable. This world-class brain combines very strong academic training in engineering and practical technical expertise with rigorous multidisciplinary graduate level training in development economics. It is of little wonder, therefore, that he is distinctively competent and versatile in many areas, including industrial manufacturing, economic development, and innovation policy. Banji Oyelaran-Oyeyinka has won reputation as an intellectual powerhouse, being a professor of practice whose industrial experiences derive from practical factory floor training during his national youth service at the Oil Refinery and Petrochemical Company, as well as his service as a pioneering staff of the Nigeria State Development Authority, NSD, having worked at the Ajafura Steel Company for several years after receiving his 1-year practical training in India. The wealth of experiences gained thus exposed him to the functioning of industrial systems and provided invaluable tools in subsequent assignments in policy advisory and policy making. He has also worked as a national industrial expert with the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, NISA, for a decade within the Industrial Consultancy Division, ICD. In the course of his national assignment, he has worked either as a team lead or a member for projects such as the Nigerian Machine Tool, the Alumni Smelter Company of Nigeria, among others. Oyelaran-Oyeyinka has contributed in no small measure to the development of small and medium enterprises policy in Nigeria. He has facilitated training for staff of small and medium enterprise development agencies, and the meeting has also led to the formulation of the robust Nigerian SME cluster policy. Remember, this is season policy. And this framework document was adopted by SMEDA as its policy strategy to date. Interestingly, stemming from the interaction with SMEDA, Oyelaran, a man reputable for his impactful ideology, has had the opportunity to impact positively on different trade and manufacturing associations in Nigeria, including textiles and garments, plastic, rubber, and of course rubber and wood, among others. Several documents deriving from this engagement have since been used for practical policy formulation, including those having to do with learning and technological capability building in small and medium enterprises in Africa, and of course, others having to do with study of small and medium rubber product manufacturing. Normally, its knowledge combines academic and the industry. Oyelaran's uncommon exploits are not limited to teaching, research, and industry alone. He has also been a key player in government. In the mid-1990s, he was an advisor to the Federal Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, during which time he formulated, for the first time in Nigeria, the industrial cluster strategy for the ministry. This document subsequently became an integral part of Nigeria's industrial policy. As a professor of international repute and a worthy Nigerian ambassador, he served within the United States as a national senior economic advisor to the United Nations Center on Trade and Development, Geneva, where he coordinated the 10-year review of performances of the world's least developed country. I can understand what combining 10-year review is. I've been on an annual for a year and I'm not through it. Earlier in his career, the leading policy expert Oyelaran was part of several country-level missions in African countries. He advises on formulation and advises technological change and innovation policy at the United Nations University Institute for New Technologies. The multi-dynamic Professor Banji Oyelaran-Oyeyinka is currently the senior special advisor on the Industrialization to the President of the African Development Bank, where he is coordinating the establishment of agro-industrial processing zones and industrial policy in several avenues. Within agro-industrial ecosystem that comprise production, processing, distribution, marketing, with a continental and global reach that is aimed at transforming Africa's agriculture from what we call incremental essential mode into what is better known as an innovative business industrial complex to the advantage of the Africa. Through this laudable initiative, a total of $540 million has been so far raised as a catalytic financing for the first 8 pilot states in Nigeria, namely Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Cross River, Imo, Ogun, our own Oyo State, including the federal capital territory. Also, through a coordinated and selfless effort of Professor Oyelaran and his team, Ogun State has already partnered with Arise IRP and has raised $200 million additional financing to complete the zone in 18 months. Indeed, the countless services and grace indicative feats of this amiable and accessible professor strengthen my conviction that this is God's beloved Son, in whom he is well pleased. Distinguished audience, I hereby request a clapping ovation, folks, and of course, a globally recognized development economist for NAUTEC's 17th Convocation Lecture. Here is a big feat that will serve us this intellectual day. Thank you for coming. I hand the mic to
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. I've even forgotten most of the things we were talking about. Thank you. Registrar, Bursar, Librarian, Provost, Deans, Directors, esteemed faculty, ladies, gentlemen, proud parents, and all great achievements require overcoming significant challenges. You have passed the test of endurance. Thank you. And I've made your families, colleagues, friends, and lecturers who are here today to celebrate you. You have made them all very proud. Thank you very much. And congratulations for all of you. I myself am the son of a worshiper. And I feel very honored, highly honored to be here today. So here we are today, gathered not only to celebrate your achievements, but to reflect on the journey ahead. One, I believe, that is filled with opportunities, challenges, and promises. The promises of what I call the Viva Activa, the active life that follows university education. Today we celebrate you for what lies ahead. And as you stand on the threshold of your future, as Vice Chancellor of the Primam, I pose questions to you. The topic of my lecture today is, can Nigeria thrive in times of tumultuous and rapid technological changes? You are an University of Technology, so I found it appropriate to talk about technological changes. It's subject matter that I've dealt with for so many years. And I also pose to you 4 specific questions. Number 1, can Nigeria thrive amidst all the changes that we are seeing? It's a very confusing world that we are in. Number 2, what obstacles have hindered Nigeria from reaching its potential? Number 3, how can you, as engaged citizens, thrive in an innovation-driven and global landscape? And lastly, what mindset should you, as graduates, adopt to navigate this very radically changing world? You are entering a realm defined by volatility, where the established international order is under strain. The dynamics of trade wars, climate change, green minerals, the 4th industrial revolution, the changing geography of global production, energy transition, and the contrasting dynamics of youth bulge in poorer countries, and the expansion of an aging global population in rich countries. On the political and social front, we have growing inequality, poverty, concentration, which are reshaping economies and political landscapes. These forces are fueling social and political polarization around the world, underscoring the need for us, poorer countries, to rethink our own well-being, to rethink the way we should move our lives. As graduates, you must recognize that the world faces challenges that transcend national borders, urging us to reconsider our path towards prosperity. The world economy has experienced a remarkable transformation over the past 4 decades. Global GDP per capita has doubled in real terms, but this is driven mostly by China and India, and by significant gains in some other places, while we remain the poverty capital of the world. But what happened behind most of these developments? Education has been the one main driver of inclusive growth and development. You are all aware of the unparalleled expansion of access to schooling over the past 50 years in all regions of the world. This has generated large productivity gains, both in industry and in agriculture, and it has transformed many societies. We less so. But more importantly also, is the relentless and rapid technological changes, advancements and innovation with significant implications for our society and other societies. Knowledge and innovation have been the crucial ingredients in economic development, while manufacturing, as we know it, has become the engine of growth. Innovation is often described as the lifeblood of progress. It is the driving force that prepares societies forward, reshapes industries, improve the quality of our lives. But what does it mean in the context of poorer countries like ours? Just imagine, without electricity, without the internet, just imagine where we are. The internet, for example, has revolutionized global communication. It has provided greater knowledge access and travel, air travel, security and economic activities. It has fundamentally changed how we live, how we work, how we socialize. Just imagine a world without WhatsApp, a world without GSM. Just imagine. But we must understand that all of this was built when societies and countries have already built their industrial pillars. Take communication. The progression has been from learning the technology of writing to the technology of paper production to the printing press to the telegraph. Remember we used to send telegrams? Most of you are too young, you don't even know what is telegraph. The telephone, the radio. Now you have the internet, you have the smartphones. The world has changed so radically. Just imagine. The total subscribers to telephone lines in Nigeria in December 1986 was only 230,000 people. 230,000 people. Now it's over 150 billion people. In Nigeria, with Econet and MTN. Imagine if you were still relying on NITEC. I don't think the young people here know what we call NITEC. NITEC was as many dangerous organizations. When you go there, you go and pay your money, you still won't get your phone, they'll give you bills, just like these discos are doing today. I predict that one day, these discos also will fade away. The way technology is going, now every state is allowed to have their own power. I went to Chicago the other day and I saw a gas power producing almost 12 megawatts. It's no more than this place. Mark my prediction. In 5 years, many of these discos will cease to exist. And what is important also is that the skills you possess today may have to be adapted to the changing world that you found yourself. And it should not be a source of anxiety to you. You must embrace lifelong learning and agile thinking. Remember Xerox. It was the first to actually invent PC. And this product was way ahead of time. Remember Nokia. It was the first to create a cellular network in the world in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Nokia was a global leader then, now it's gone. Remember Kodak? Many of you don't know Kodak. It was the company that actually came up with the dominant photographic filmmaking. Most of the 20th century we relied on Kodak. Many of you may also remember BlackBerry, a line of smartphones. It was so successful in those days. All the rich people have BlackBerry. When the technology changed, they didn't adapt, they faded away. People and technologies will they fade away. The discourse will fade away. Because people will have a better agency of their own lives. When society and leaders don't do what is right, citizens find a way and they move on with their own lives. The message to you is that thriving in a world of rapid changes remind us that flexibility, creativity, and a willingness to take risks are essential attributes of great leaders. Remember, in life it says, who dares wins, who sweats wins, and who plans wins. According to Nokia, a great historian of technology, technological change accounted for sustained growth. It was not caused by economic growth. It caused economic growth. Technology has no substitute. Had there been no technological change, other forms of economic progress will have eventually ground to a halt. Let me give you an example. In January of 1939, President Roosevelt of the United States told Congress to give him $200 million to procure aircraft for the U.S. Army Corps. At that time, the U.S. had only 1,700 aircraft. To cut a long story short, by the end of 1945, when the war ended, America had produced 300,000 airplanes. 300,000. Just imagine. Why? Because they had a production base. Countries that don't build a production base, you become beggars. You don't have vaccines, you become a beggar. You don't have drugs, you become a beggar. Even when you have your money to buy, you're still begging. This is why technology is extremely important to every society. History, therefore, teaches us that nations that adapt and innovate can overcome all adversity. The innovative response that I just read to you ensured that America became the dominant force in the world. Remember, Europe, Germany, all of them have been leveled to the ground. So a new power emerged. Why? Because it had the technology to do so. Every oppression you see today is because that nations have superior technology. The key enabler of imperial domination and the instrument of conquest also was superior technology. In a book that I believe is destined to be a classic on imperial history, a woman called Caroline Elkin, professor at Harvard, related how innovations underpinned British subjugation of all its colonies. The main instruments were transportation, communication systems, railways, steam engines, underwater cables, telegraphs at that time, and gunpowder. That was why they were able to subjugate all of Africa, all of Asia. That was how a tiny country, a Canadian country like Britain, was able to subjugate a vast land of China. Technology. Technological and scientific innovations abounded even when Queen Victoria was on the throne, and they expanded in the decades afterwards. Revolutions in transportation and communication systems connected the island nations to far-flung territories, and they were able to dominate all of this, including our own dear country at that time. They were able to go everywhere because they had the ship, everything. So what have held us back? Why are we always queuing behind others? The context for my speech is in Nigeria, where we face the challenges both general and regional specific. We do know that the challenges we face collectively as Nigerians, they also have very long and deep roots in history. It's an outcome of several factors that we can't even begin to talk about here. The long neglect of agriculture, the long neglect of industry, the lack of structural transformation, unfavorable negative terms of trade, and continuous trade and external shocks. We have left many things undone. We are living below poverty level. We are the world's largest concentration of poor people, second largest after India. 63% of our people are what I call multidimensionally poor. And of course, in the rural areas it works. Over 70% are classified as those who live in abject poverty. It is not of little consequence, therefore, that the incidence of poverty has seen its greatest increase during decades of coexistence of prosperity and failure. In other words, we're earning a lot of money from all of the people who are getting more and more into poverty. It's a paradox that I highlighted in a book that I wrote in 2014. It's called The Resource Course. It's a paradox of a country where, even though you are observing growing economic growth, that people are falling nevertheless into more and more poverty. My point is that we have not used our wealth correctly. And the root of this poverty is weak technology and innovation capability. Nigeria remains a poor country while possessing enormous resources because we have not developed the technology to transform and add value to what we have. If you ship out cassava, for example, to somewhere, you are enriching that country. You are providing jobs in that. Allow space for the markets, rural and urban. What we have done is ship out crude oil, and others get enriched. Now it's starting again. We have lithium, we have all of this, and foreigners come into all our villages taking them away. And we are looking. They go, they build ships, they build chips, they build ships, they build all kinds of things, they sell it back to us. And we are all looking. This is the source of our dysfunction. The inability of Nigeria and Africa to develop what is necessary for production. Almost 50, 60 years after independence is what has brought us to where we are today. In the 1970s, for example, India initiated critical steps that led to a green revolution and also did the same in the pharmaceutical industry. India basically just transformed their own economy by adopting technologies, new varieties of seed. They did the same in the pharma sector. They enacted what they call the Product Patent Act, which transformed the country's pharmaceutical sector by enabling domestic companies and universities, R&D. Now, when here we just announce things, and then we don't fund the universities, we just announce it. Announcement is not a plan, it's not a strategy. You announce, but you have to put your money where your mouth is. In those days, India equipped all their critical labs, and they were able to reverse engineer almost all the basic medicines. Today, India's pharmaceutical industry is worth over $50 billion. All the API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, is produced almost $1 million. For the one singular act that was done in 1970 by their leaders. Here we are, begging. So clearly what we observe in Nigeria as low-income equilibrium trap, in which the country is mired, was induced not just that reduced Nigerian industry to almost zero in those days. The structural adjustment program, which included the cost and non-operational cycle, led to high cost of industrial production as intermediate and basic material inputs across Nigeria, and I quote one study then. He said the collapse of manufacturing and agricultural industries heightened unemployment, induced social insecurity. It led to low capacity utilization in manufacturing, insufficient foreign exchange to purchase raw materials and spare parts, exorbitant of foreign currency to naira led to increase in the cost of input. The economic landscape was devastated in the mid-80s because we took actions that were too quick, too fast. These policies pushed too far, too fast, to the exclusion of other policies that were required. Let me remind you of some of those companies and issues that collapsed. I'll list about 2 or 3 of them. But remember, Ayabuta Steel Company, Delta Steel Company, construction started in 1979. The one ended uncompleted, one was finished. But today, both of them are gone. We are importing close to $4 to $5 billion worth of steel products today. In contrast, we started the same period as a company in Korea called POSCO, Korean Steel Company. That company today, by 1992, it was producing 21 million tons of steel. 21 million. Our main integrated steel plant called AfDB is producing 0 primary steel. 0. Because we did all these funny things and never allowed things to work. Self became more important than service and sacrifice for the people. And people do all this and they forget that their own children they are coming. Their grandchildren are coming. And one day there won't be a record. The Nigerian paper mill, they had the whole plan. I was in NISA in those days. We had Nigerian paper mill jet. We had the pulp and paper company in Ogun State. Nigerian newspaper manufacturing company, Okuibo, Akwa Ibom. By 1995, paper mill was the largest in West Africa. It was producing 65,000 tons of craft paper. It was doing liners and chipboards and all kinds of things. All gone. Uluwa Glass Company in Ibokoda today is gone. Okosi Salt Industry that was supplying Biafra with everything they needed in terms of salt. Today, nobody even knows where it is. Mokwa Cattle Ranch in Banji was established in the First Republic. As of 1973, when the Germans banded over the ranch to Nigeria, it had over 3,000 healthy cattle. Today, 0. Nigeria, Romania, Ondo State, gone. Okitipupa Oil Mill, gone. Dear friends, let me begin to answer those questions that I posed to you earlier. What should we do? First, Nigeria must protect its economy from external shocks. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you see the shocks that we are seeing. Today, tariffs, tomorrow this, tomorrow that, nobody knows where the world is going anymore. But those economies that have huge, strong production capacity are so much afraid because they will survive. Nigeria needs to diversify this economy away from oil. If we want to reach so-called $1 trillion economy, the calculation say if you want to reach that in 10 years, you have to grow at least 7%. 7% actually means 10%. We are growing about 9.6%. Because you have to subtract population growth from every growth you see. As we are now, we are going at 3.something%. If you subtract the population growth rate, we are actually growing at 1%. This is why you see the economy is growing and unemployment rate increasing. So we have a lot of work to do. If you have to, it's called the power law. You have to, if you want to double your GDP in 10 years, you grow at 7%. If you want to double it in 7 years, you have to grow at 10% minimum. So to shield our economy from perennial shocks, we must pursue diversification. We must look at other sectors and put greater effort and not rely only on a woof. One of my mentors was about they call it their woof economy. He said their woof economy is where we just dig something in the ground, you send it, you go, you share it, you go to Abuja, far. The real economy is one where you do the hard work, build factories on the ground, and earn money. That's the real economy. Every time mineral and oil prices crash, we are in trouble. You know, it has happened now. The budget was for $75 per barrel. Oil price has gone to $55 now. So you are going to be seeing a revision because of this tariff war that's going on. So those are the shocks. We should insulate ourselves from these shocks. China's economy has been described as extremely successful. It's quadrupled its GDP per capita income over 3 decades. It's raised 800 million people out of poverty. It did that by having strong stability. And this is my second point. Second point, Nigeria must ensure internal security and political stability at every cost. I'm saying that at every, we must do everything possible. Because nobody grows when the economy is not stable. Investors will never come. No matter how much you spend yourself, they just laugh at you. They will have dinner with you, but they won't come. I've seen it in real life. We finish meeting and say, this is happening. How we bring it along to this very uncertain terrain? We must ensure we remove insecurity by every means. It is incomprehensible that a nation state cannot defeat Ragtag unless there's something else. And we must ensure political stability. The elite must speak to themselves and ensure that we remove all kinds of noise. Nigeria has over 200 million people are suffering too much. Building a production economy and a functioning market, ensuring incentives to speed up growth. You must remove banditry and terrorism. Terrorism reduces the capital stock of a nation, destroy people, destroy human life, destroy agricultural activities. It's one of the reasons you find out rice mills today. They've invested, but they can't operate the rice mill because there's no rice money. Many of them are lying idle. We must ensure that Nigeria has peace. We have been named among those very high in the index of state fragility. You know, politicians don't like to hear about state failure. You get scared. The people should talk to themselves. Just look around. We can't even produce basic services to our people. I look in Abidjan and say, what country? Yes, the light doesn't go. If light goes, you seem to very surprised. Yeah, when light goes, what is abnormal has become normal. Our psyche has been so battered that people just adjust. It's a tragedy of a country with so much wealth. There are figures I don't even want to quote here, so some of you will be very sad. So let me just move forward. You know, a lot of people look at China today because we study a lot of these countries so that you learn lessons. A lot of people think the 1978 revolution of China was the first one. They had 4 different revolutions also trying to develop like ours. 4 over a century. Then it suddenly got it right in 1978 with Deng's revolution. And what he did was start building industrial clusters along all the coastal states, provinces. I've been to many of them. And that was the turning point for China. But what has happened is that they became a stable economy. 140 years before that was wars and things, but when stability came, everybody rushed to invest in China. China has about 3,000 industrial parks today. And those are the engines of growth. We must ensure stability and peace and security. The third point I'd like to focus on is to modernize agriculture for comparative advantage and for competitive advantage. Dear graduates, many of you have read agricultural economics or agricultural sciences. I would encourage you to go into practice. I know it's hard, but a lot of the wealth that will come from poorer countries will come from agribusiness. The days of public thing is gone. The days of looking for aid and all this is gone now. These people, they don't care about you and I. We have to focus on who we are. In fact, agribusiness, according to World Economic Forum, represents over $10 trillion, or 12% of global GDP. 10 times more than IT, 10 times more than iron and steel. Agribusiness. No, you just imagine. Nestle, never product, all those big conglomerates. It's not our food system. And all these derivatives. A lot of the things we use today can be got from what we have. From cassava. I have a big man here who wants a big cassava person. You can get starch, fructose, sorbitol, all of these things. We have gas, methanol, all of can produce, but you must do it here. Don't ship everything to somebody else. Let's use our cultural products. Instead of shipping sesame, let's ship sesame oil. By then you have doubled 10 times the value of that sesame. Agricultural productivity of course depends on the manufacturing system. Especially capital goods like tractors, harvesters, and all of those things. And of course, skills, knowledge, fertilizer, agrochemicals, farming techniques, and all sorts. We must see this as a twin sector, agriculture and industry. Because we watch our great grandfathers doing hoe and cutlass, that's not what people do anymore. Modern agriculture has gone to another level in time. We must move from being an agrarian society. And one of the examples that I would like to cite from the bank that we did was something called Technology for African Agricultural Transformation. But we financed Ethiopia in 2018, just planted about 5,000 hectares of wheat. We worked with the CGI. They came up with a new variety of wheat that is drought resistant, disease resistant. The wheat can only grow in temperate. Now, it's not the case. In fact, this wheat is growing in Sudan 40 degrees centigrade, where only cotton used to be. So the bank, through the coalition's push, encouraged this, and then they started distributing it. Ethiopia has been one of the most successful. From 5,000 hectares in 2018, last year, Ethiopia produced 1.2 million hectares of wheat. 1.2 million. 1.2 million. They are now exporting wheat to Djibouti and Kenya. There's a lot of science and technology. You are a technology university. A lot. This university can have the biggest university farm in the world. You have 11,000 hectares of land. This university can become a powerhouse. And we will be happy to work with you to do that. So let's lay the foundation. Amidst all this gloom in this country, I never allow myself to be gloomy. In 2024, the Netherlands agricultural export was 129 billion. Small country, 17 billion. I lived there for 6 years when I was teaching at the United Nations University. $130 billion of agricultural export. Because they don't export raw materials. They export finished goods. They get from other countries also and process it. 50% of Germany's agriculture is from the Netherlands. You go there, many of you know them, you see all these greenhouses for barns. And we that God has given everything. 60% of all uncultivated arable land in the world is in Africa, and we are starving. How can we justify that? Let me take the last point. So, the fourth point I would like to say is that we must make a very explicit investment in rural transformation. When people say China lifted 800 million people out of poverty, so I always ask them, where did this 800 come from? The country is 1.4 billion. Where did it come from? It's in those rural areas. They have a targeted and explicit policy. China never did conditional cash transfer and stealing the money and all that. No, they never did. They went into those spaces, trained people in vocational training, and equipped them. These people who are the hopeless of the rural areas became producers and became consumers. You have to create the market. If you don't create the market, if you don't create the producers, there's no market. You go to America, there's no small, medium, enterprise, there's nothing because there's no demand. This is what China did. I don't know why we still refuse to learn that must invest in transforming our local communities. This was Chief Awolowo Day took on. I don't know whether you remember. You still go to some Western region areas, Fashola, I've been there like 3 times. It was built by Awolowo in those days. Imagine them. They had all these very fat cows everywhere. Then the military came and slaughtered them for. So, we must change the narrative. You know, the chocolate market is about almost $250 billion. Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Nigeria, we produce almost 75% of cocoa. When we earn less than 10%, everything gets shipped. I can tell you so many stories about it because of that. So this is why actually the bank and the work that was cited that I've been doing, especially industrial processing zones, we have started, we did groundbreaking in Kaduna, Calabar last week with the traditional, the vice president. We are hoping that all the others will do their groundbreaking very soon. Don't worry, we don't give money for people to just steal it. We have a very strong government system. You know, people always ask me, why do you ensure that you don't think ahead of the cat? We do what you call direct disbursement to the contractor. You do this one, we give you the money. You do another one, we give you the money. We won't give you the money. AfDB is the only triple-rated bank in Africa. The only triple-rated bank. On addition, that bank became the most transparent bank in the world. Beyond 2 years running, you can Google it. It was classified as the most transparent bank and it was classified as the best DFI, development finance institution in the world. Second one to the world because they have bigger bank. So we can do it. It's an African. You and I were African. Took that bank from 93 billion capitalization to 315 billion. All of you know the fight. And we can do it. So the special program we are carrying on, we are going to present another set of 10 to the board by May. My prayer and hope is that Nigeria will have almost every state will have its own. For your state, we have our they've advertised. Please, the university, I think we need to also get involved with some of these things. They are going to select the contractor soon. Vice Chancellor, maybe if that's your group, then I get my coach today and see what the university can do with it. It's going to be a big place. We are expecting about 50, 70 companies will locate there in the giant. Near Ibadan there. So all the states, we have Igbo, we have others now already coming up. We've worked very hard over 6 years. It was very tough because people want to do it in a different way. So we just put our feet down. And I believe that we will do it. The last point I would like to raise is that we must come into accommodation in the face of rapid technological change. Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, proud families, and you exceptional graduates of class of 2025, as you step into a world that is filled with potential and promise, you will also step into that debate on the fourth industrial revolution. And one of the standard technologies here is artificial intelligence, AI. We must accommodate our research today. We've done a lot of work analysis on it, right? It's going to affect agriculture, it's going to do healthcare, it's going to affect education itself, and it's going to do a lot to transform individuals' lives. And I encourage you not to rely on this white-collar job that we all want to involve with, but to engage with modern entrepreneurial activities including agriculture. It is a way to address the high rate of unemployment that we have in Africa today. Africa is the youngest continent, and estimated 60% of its population between ages of 15 and 24. Right now, by some estimates, more than half of Africans youth are not employed. or they are underemployed, or they are totally inactive. We need to address it so that we don't have another lost generation. My final point here will be this for the graduates. Please get into the 21st century digital literacy skills. Get yourself those skills. There are suggestions, but I believe that this is what's going to drive our lives. University education must be combined with skills, including digital skills. Countries like Germany and South Korea have robust TVET systems. They have demonstrated that skill-based education can lead to high employment, industrial growth, and competitive economy. By integrating digital literacy and emerging ICT skills into TVET curriculum, Nigeria can close the gap between academic education, like universities, skills-based employment, and can produce great things for our country. Despite global trends, we are still lagging considerably. In the oil and gas, for example, Nigeria spent 1.2 billion locally. For example, the Lagos-Ibadan rail project required Chinese engineers for 70% of the technical roles. The Nigerian ICT sector is valued at 38 billion, but we face a shortage of over 500,000 digital skills professionals, including cyber skills and software development. Companies like Flutterwave and Andela, they have to recruit people from Kenya and Rwanda. We need to close this digital skill. In the construction sector, Nigeria's infrastructure deficit is estimated at $3 trillion, according to the AfDB, partly due to delays caused by unskilled labor. The second bridge, Niger Bridge, for example, faced a 2-year delay due to shortage of certified welders, and crane operators. Welders and operators of those kind of qualities, they don't find them. Finally, my brothers and sisters, as I close, friends, the choices and action taken by political leaders and bureaucrats and those in sensitive places, the elites tend to trump all other forces, all other factors. The choices they make, their interests, personal, their predilections, have pushed this nation into a current trajectory of negative economic development. Without a doubt, I believe, Nigeria has had a unique misfortune of being governed under very bad leadership for decades, except in very rare cases. Poor leadership has had a uniquely before negative impact on our development. Development puts a nation on the upward path of progress and prosperity. But the opposite happens when leaders prioritize self and set a nation on a race to their needs for their development. As the poet Banji puts it, the gates of hell are open night and day. Smooth the descent and easy is the way. But to return and view the cheerful skies, in this is task and mighty labor lies. I suppose in our case, to the hell that underdevelopment brings, unemployment, poverty, food insecurity. So what this poet is saying is that metaphorically, the climb is always easier than accept. The true challenge and labor for us now is returning our country to the very top. We have gone down the way of moral development decay, when our leaders have been the accelerators, the catalysts, and the drivers. And we must play our part. Graduates, all colleagues here, we must never give up hope for a new and brighter and prosperous Nigeria. We must not imagine that all we wish for Nigeria will materialize in an instant. We must think strategically and in the long term. The labor we put in now for Nigeria will endure, and our children and our children's children. In closing, I urge all of you graduates, be pioneers in this transformation journey. Embrace challenges as opportunities, as to step into your future. Remember, that you have the power to shape the narrative of African regional development. Your ideas, your creativity, leadership, your commitment to excellence will be the catalyst to change our lives. Do not be content to live the ordinary life. As I explained quick, life shrinks or expands in proportion with one's own courage. Strive to stand out in these turbulent times. Do not be like those who wreck our commonwealth. Be the builder of the nation. Rebuild the destroyed soul. As the good book admonishes all of us, draw out your soul to the hungry. Draw your skills out to those who need comfort. Comfort their afflicted soul. Then your own light will shine brighter and brighter. And may you be guided as you go ahead in this journey. So one more time, a big congratulations to all of you, class of 2025. The future is bright for you. It is filled with possibilities. Go forward and be the change maker that Nigeria needs. Thank you. And long live our great country of Nigeria. I'd like to make, with the permission of the Vice Chancellor and the University, to honor the best best students in technology and the overall best students in the university. I am pledging to give each of them 500,000 naira. Please come and then we take photo together. Come on, let's leave. Voila. Where are you?
Emma Bonki. Slant it. Come this way.
Let's have another round of applause for the lecturer. I'm sure we have all enjoyed it. And thank you most especially for the philanthropic question. At this point, we have enjoyed this lecture and we must thank you. It is therefore my pleasure to invite the registrar of the university, the Secretary to the Government Council, Mrs. Oyelaran-Oyeyinka, to come and thank you for the work of things.
Standing on the already established protocol. Sir, I'm here, sir, so I appreciate you on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Razak Olatunde Ronkalim, the entire university management, staff and students of this institution. Not only because of the highly cerebral lecture you have delivered, but you were able to tell us how we got into the woods, how we can cope in the woods, and what to do. That's our, responsibility to let our leaders know that they should not be killing the cows and making a soup with them. Not only did you do that, sir, you have told us how we can adapt and continue, although the economy is in a very bad state, but you have encouraged us that we should be resilient in this VUCA economy. Thank you so much, sir. The Lord bless you.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, other dignitaries of the right table, please let these teams while the Vice Chancellor gives his closing remarks. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir.
We have been told how China has over 3,000 industrial parks. But we have more than that number as religious centers. I hope all of us in this hall and those who will read the lecture later will be part of that industrial revolution, which is much needed in this country. With this mark, I hereby close the 17th Convocation Lecture.
Once again, we need to thank everybody that has been part of